Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Amwa, and today I'm going to talk to you about 3 ways that I have sold myself short as a medical student and or a physician. Part of the reason I want to talk about this is because I'm now in a position where I'm transitioning from being a trainee to very soon becoming an independent practicing pathologist. And I'm only now really grasping the importance of promoting myself in a way that's meaningful to me, especially considering that I'm trying to do things within my field that have not been done before, or at least that I don't know of. Because of this, I've learned the importance of really analyzing the ways in which I have sold myself short and how that has affected me so that I can make sure that I'm not making the same mistakes and holding myself back from the successes that I will be able to see if I address those issues now. The first way that I've been selling myself short is trying to be too humble. I grew up learning that it is important to be humble, utilize your gifts, but don't brag about it. And while I understand where that came from, it certainly does not serve me as someone who is a professional and trying to reach certain heights in the future. There are many things that I have done, whether as a medical student, as a resident, that I was doing out of the goodness of my heart or for the purpose of serving my mission, which is to ensure that people who are underrepresented in medicine or underserved communities are able to access resources to allow them to achieve at higher levels and be exposed to more opportunities that they may not get otherwise. So it was more important to me that that work get done than it was that anyone knew that I was doing that work. So a prime example is there was a time that I went to a conference, and at this conference they'll have exhibitions, so different institutions can come, different programs, schools, et cetera, can come and set up a booth where they will talk to students who are walking by about their institutions, what programs they offer, different opportunities they have, etc. I walked around to as many of those tables where those institutions had sent representatives and gathered names, specialties, mode of contact, whether or not they would be able to serve as a mentor. I would walk around and meet different students and ask them, hey, are you interested in potentially having a mentor? And so what I did after that was I created an Excel spreadsheet with all the potential mentor information and the potential mentee information. And I matched people up based on the things that the students said that they wanted in a mentor. And based on whether or not the potential mentors that I had collected how well those individuals met the needs or perceived needs of those students. I collected a lot of names and life started to life. So there are students that I didn't get to, but nonetheless, it was just important for me to start that wheel rolling to get some of these students connected to individuals that they may not have been connected to otherwise. They were at that event, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they would meet the individual who would check off most of the boxes that they thought that they wanted in a mentor. Or sometimes having a middle person to make the connection for you makes it easier or makes that other person seem more accessible. So I just wanted to create those connections so that if there was an opportunity for students to benefit from those connections with those individuals, that they had that. Again, this was servicing my mission. But the reality is that's a really good thing to do. And not a lot of people would have gone out of their way to do that. I never really told many other people about it. Now I'm thinking about how not talking about the things that I was doing was actually holding me back. Because how I think about it now is, if I'm one person doing all these things and trying so hard to reach a particular goal, and I don't tell person A, B, and C what I'm doing, For all I know, person B might be the individual who can help me scale my attempts and invest in what I'm doing in such a way that I meet my goal faster or I'm able to reach more people. But they would never know if I don't talk about it. The way I see things now is completely different. And the reality is, like, I'm not promoting myself or talking about the things that I'm doing for the sake of receiving accolades. I'm using self-promotion as a tool to help me meet my goals, which include helping other people. Another example is I won a couple of awards. Let's see. I was recently selected to participate in a research fellowship funded by a large institution. And that's kind of a big deal, you know? I also was selected as a scholar by a well-known organization within the pathology world. And I won a different award. All of this happened within the same few months. Yeah. So I was just going to go, do what I had to do, receive my awards, move on with my life. Someone had to ask me to share the news with our departmental newsletter. I didn't even I had no intention of doing that, but in hindsight, it makes perfect sense for me to do that, because I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to be bragging about anything or, trying to make it seem like I was this woo woo woo. I don't know. Child, I don't even know. I can't even put into words what I was thinking because it doesn't even make sense. But yeah, for someone else to have to ask me to submit this good news, it's like, that does not make any sense. Like, put the news out there. And especially considering how hard I worked, how much I struggled on my way to trying to do these things, like when I was in school. So anyway, child, now I'm telling everybody, anytime I do something, best believe it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, you're going to know about it. And if you're interested in collaborating on making some good things happen for some people, please let me know. The second thing I would say I did to sell myself short while on this path toward medicine was not optimizing my wellness from the beginning. I talk about wellness a lot on my channel and in real life, to be quite frank, because it is absolutely crucial. Like, things that I have been able to accomplish as of late, in my mind, back when I was younger and not prioritizing my wellness, I would never have even imagined that I would be capable of doing these things. It wasn't until I really started taking wellness seriously that I saw the benefits of taking it seriously and applying those wellness principles in my life that I started to see a significant and dramatic increase in my levels of productivity, in my views about myself, in my views about my profession, in my hopes for the future, and what I'm able to accomplish moving forward. So when I was younger, like, my idea of wellness was going and buying shoes on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? That time period and kind of getting into certain things such as working out more, eating healthier, having my creative outlet, which was my YouTube channel, I slowly started to incorporate these things into my daily life and into my schedule. But I didn't really conceptualize fully the value of doing those things, maximizing them and optimizing them. So I've mentioned before that at some point when I was in medical school, I burned out. When I say I crapped out, I burned out to the point where I would go sit at my computer and I could not read. Like, coming from that place really forced me to recognize that it was not useful for me to run myself into the ground every day for the sake of passing my courses. Because the reality is, the more I ran myself into the ground, the closer I was to burnout and the less I was able to accomplish. So I started incorporating more breaks into my study schedule. I started running every morning. I started making sure that I was eating more clean. I started having a set time where I was very strict about cutting off any work to make sure that I could do my nighttime routine and get to bed on time so I could get my 8 hours of sleep and wake up, have enough time to do my morning routine, including working out, so that I was in a better position to attack the work that I needed to attack the next day. And I think part of the problem is that we kind of, whether directly or indirectly, are made to believe that sacrifice is the way to success. And it is to an extent, but there are certain things that should never be sacrificed, such as your well-being. So wellness looks different for every person, but once I figured out that I could still be successful without forcing myself to push through fatigue or without neglecting my body, eating poorly because it's fast for me to eat, or not going to the gym because that's an extra hour that I could be spending reading, which the gag is that extra hour that I think I'm spending reading, I'm not even really retaining anything because I'm too tired. So, like, I kind of had to undo the mentality that I had developed based on things that I had seen and been told, that if I'm not sacrificing everything that I have and everything that I am for medicine or for studying, that I will not be successful. Shaking that mentality resulted in me implementing things that were way better for me as an individual, way better for my body, way better for my mind, which put me in the most optimized position to function and perform well. Now, when I say you can't tell me nothing, like, don't even look for me on Sunday. You will not find me. I'm going to be doing my nails. I'm going to be grooming myself. I'm going to be reading for leisure. I'm going to be sitting on the couch, not watching anything, listening to anything, doing anything. I'm going to be sitting by my window, taking in sun rays. Like, you're just not gonna find me, and I'm not sacrificing that. I mean, every once in a while, okay, we gotta be realistic. Like, sometimes things come up, but that's how strict I have gotten about my wellness. And even when I have things to do, like, because the other side of this is not putting too much on my plate so that I have time to do the things that make me feel well. That's another video for another day. I know that resonated with some of you because we here. That's the other thing, is not setting myself up for a lifestyle that will require me to sacrifice these things to begin with. I say all that to say, I sold myself short by not prioritizing wellness in the way that was meaningful to me the beginning stages of my training. And even, to be honest, like, when I went to residency, they called me wellness queen. Some of my colleagues call me the wellness queen because they know I don't play around with it. But every once in a while things come up and I would have to sacrifice here and there. But the key is to not consistently sacrifice something that is so pivotal to my success and my well-being. The third and final thing that I'll talk about today that I was doing to sell myself short along this journey was not charging for my services. Okay. Think about the people who have been successful in business and who have been successful in generating wealth for themselves. There's some sort of value in what they're promoting or what they're selling. Otherwise, people wouldn't buy it, right? Now, the experiences that I have had in life, and especially pertaining to pursuing medicine, are extremely valuable to individuals who have had similar struggles or who have had similar barriers to achieving higher education, or specifically entering into medical school, who are pursuing this profession as me. Over the years, because of the same mission that I've had, where I'm trying to help underserved people from underserved communities, people from disenfranchised communities come up in whatever way that I can, but especially within medicine, I never wanted to charge anybody for that because that would create another barrier. Um, and I still, to this day, offer some of my services for free. What I had to realize is, just because I'm charging for a service does not mean that I am not reaching my goal or servicing my mission. What I do now is I will still assist individuals to a certain extent with their applications, or we're just talking to them about what things they may need to know in order to be successful in pursuing this profession, et cetera, et cetera. I will still offer certain help. I'll look over certain information for them, yada, 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 for free. However, if you want additional assistance, more in-depth assistance, one-on-one, if you are trying to command more of my time, you don't have to pay for that, okay? The price has been set. The price is going up. Like, ultimately, it does not do me a service to sell myself short and not capitalize on the knowledge, experience, and all the other resources that I've gotten through the process of pursuing this career. Think about everything it takes to become a physician. You have to go to school for a significant amount of time. You miss out on a lot of things that you would not have had to miss out on if you were not pursuing this profession, whether it's attending important events for loved ones, whether it's meeting a significant other, because the reality is sometimes we don't have as much time to go and meet people. You give up a lot of your 20s and so you sacrifice a lot of things. And on top of that, we haven't even gotten to the loans, child. You give up your financial freedom in a lot of cases to pursue this profession. So with all the things that I've had to give up to become a physician, you mean to tell me that I gotta give up this information for free too? I gotta give up the opportunity to capitalize on everything that I have been through and create wealth and financial freedom and stability for myself too? Nah. Honestly, at every step in my training, I could have been monetizing. When I got to medical school, I could have monetized the experiences that I had, essentially making up for all the failures that I had in the past, and talking up to people or offering valuable information about the avenues that I paved for myself, or the opportunities that I found, how I found them, what things are available to those individuals, even as a medical student. As a resident, I could have then added on the experiences that I had in medical school. What things did I do to be successful? What things did I do when I was on the verge of getting kicked out that helped me become more successful and ultimately be able to graduate and walk out of the door with my degree? All of this is very valuable information that somebody out there is willing to pay for, because this is not easy. And it doesn't even have to only pertain to my clinical experience. I could have monetized any number of things. I grew up playing instruments. That's something that I could have monetized. Even just storytelling, sharing my experiences, whether it be as a first-generation American, a Black woman trying to achieve higher education in America. Like, almost anything that you do or experience can be monetized. And I wish that I understood that sooner, because there really is no reason for me to be broke. Like, there really just is no reason for me to be broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not the life that God intended for me to live. Now my mindset has changed. I'm educating myself more on how other people have monetized their experiences, how other people have leveraged the knowledge that they have gained in order to help them build wealth and reach financial freedom, because that is important to me. And I don't have to sacrifice my morals, or I don't have to sacrifice the mission that I still have to this day to service the communities that I want to service. But what this does is it puts me in a better position to now reach back and help other people. That actually lends itself to my mission more so in the long run. Wealthy me will certainly have more to offer to people than broke me. That's just the reality. That would definitely be a way that I've been selling myself short, literally. In summary, 3 ways that I have sold myself short during my journey to medicine have included not promoting myself, not optimizing my wellness, not monetizing my experiences and knowledge and expertise. Just know, in this day and age, you will not see me making those mistakes again. Let me know if any of these things resonated with you. I know that this is not unique to me, and I would love to hear more about your experiences, what ways you believe that you sold yourself short, and how you intend to change that moving forward. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Help your girl out, okay, in the spirit of monetizing. You will help me reach these goals or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.